Welcome back to Queen's Gold Beekeeping and Apiary. My name is Dave McPherson, and today I'm doing a little bit of a design on a two-way pallet system, which is a takeoff of the four-way, which is used in a great number of commercial operations. However, 4 is just a little bit too much, a little bit too heavy when fully loaded for my ability to be able to move pallets around. So I'm using a two-way, this being the bottom. I've already got it partially together. So this is 34 by 22 deep. Just got some 2x4 runners, both sides and the center. Then I've got some 1x3 strapping placed along the bottom, keeps everything straight. I just use 1/2 inch plywood on the top, just rough plywood. And the reason for that is all of my boxes and my woodenware gets wax dipped. So the 1/2 inch is plenty. There's no real support area, which needs to be any thicker than that. It's not going to rot out. It'll hold up well. What we do is we use 4 pieces of 20 inch for the sides and the center. Two pieces, which are 14 1/4, and excuse me. And I also use 2 pieces which are 6 inch, which are basically turned into an entrance reducer. Again, same as any other woodenware, everything gets glued down. I use LePage outdoor weatherproof glue, because that's what I have available in my area. I've got my center line is pre-marked, so I'm just going to glue everything up here. So that's that taken care of. So the first thing I'm going to do, these 2 pieces in the center. You can use 1x3. I just, for ease, I use a 1 inch, just because that's what I have. And we're all about making things a little bit cheaper. Our 14 1/4. Down the back sides. So we put those in place. All of our glue is starting to take hold nicely. Then we use, again, our 20 inch. Comes down both outsides. So this will be the base, or basically a bottom board. We'll have a hive here and a colony here. This gives us a little bit better than 1/2 inch bee space below the hive. So once that's in place, I'll confirm that my centers are on. using 18 gauge staples, 1.25 inches. Make sure everything is up nice and tight together. You don't want any small spaces. The bees will propolis and fill it in. We don't want any large spaces which they can actually get out of. More importantly than the bees from inside the colony getting out is, once the season goes along, that's an area where any robber bees can try and find their way in. Then what I do is, up at the front entrance area, I put these 2 spacers in. They're 6 inches. They will form a small entrance reducer. And it makes so that one colony, when they're coming back from forage, can't automatically just walk into the other colony. Once they are in place, then we have these U-clamps. They're cut off, as you can see, so the cuts go to the outside. That will allow them, or I should say, that will allow you to be able to lift and manipulate as need be. And of course, we drop the first screw. So when these go down, they're going right through and into the 2x4 down below. Once they're down and locked in place, we'll be able to see here that when we take our boxes, they fit up nicely. We have our entrance reducer. And when you first buy these clips, they are a little bit snug. They may need some bending, as this one does. But just give it a very small amount of bend. A little harder to do when I've got it up on the table like so. But as you can see, we now have 2 completely separate colonies side by side, both with their own entrance reducer, and the bees cannot get out through, or they can't intermingle, or they don't want to as much, they won't fight. And now everything is palletized. I can move 2 colonies at a time rather than 1. And this worked very good for my operation. as I said, 4 on a pallet is just a little bit too big, too heavy for me, as I'm still growing, as many of you are, and as a sideliner, every extra bit of cash that you can have goes into something else. So until I have a something a little bit bigger, such as a Hummer-Bee or a much heavier duty forklift, then 2 pallets is the way to go. And this helps me move things around, bring the hives into pollination, bring them back out. A lot easier for my operation. What works for me may not work for you. This is a how I do things video. I'm not saying this is what must be done. This is just what I do. I hope anything that I can pass on helps you along, or at least gets your mind to think a little bit more, and it gives you a few ideas on what you may be able to incorporate into your operation. Again, I'm Dave with Queen's Gold Beekeeping, apiaries. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please hit the like button, subscribe for more videos. We'll see you on the other side.